Hey everybody, it's Lori. I'm doing my top 10 Thursday, but it's Wednesday, but I'm not sure when I'll be home tomorrow, and my hair is everywhere that's in a ponytail. So, sorry, I look like crap, but this is what you get. If you don't like it, you can just, now watch. Sorry if that was rude. But, okay. Skyla picked our top 10, and it was top 10 people we'd like to interview. And then she put a twist on it. It was top 10 people we'd like to interview that are passed away. So, I don't know that mine are really in any order. I have some interesting ones and I have some weird ones. And I just got a message from Skyla. But here's my list. Like I said, it's in no particular order. The first one that I'll put is Robert Shaw. He played Quint in Jaws, the original. He did the famous in USS Indianapolis monologue. He, from the DVD, the documentary that I've seen, I'll get it together one of these days. He said he was very drunk the first time he did it, so he came back and did it stone cold sober, and that was the take they put in the movie. And it's just, to me, it's very profound, very, to me, it's a very major part of the movie, and it's one of my favorite parts of the movie is his monologue. Dylan, for history, they were discussing the bomb, and he said something about the USS Indianapolis and the sharks and how many went in, how many survived. And the teacher asked him, Dylan, how do you know that? And he kind of got a grin on his face, and she's like, that's right, you like Jaws. So that's how he knew about the USS Indianapolis. Okay, the next one is Robin Williams. I just think it would be really cool to interview him about all of his movies, what was going on in his life, and if there was some way to help for the outcome of his life to be different. He's been in some wonderful movies. Some of my favorites are Mrs. Doubtfire, or Jumanji, or Aladdin, RV. I mean, he's been in Dead Poet Society. Sorry. Just about his movies, and then later in life, what happened and what can be done and what can be learned from what he went through. The next one is actually a former president, and this is the one that's kind of weird. I'd like to interview Teddy Roosevelt, who was actually also played by Robin Williams in the Night at the Museum movies. He supposedly, on one of his hunting trips that he was famous for, saw or ran into a Bigfoot. I have a thing about Bigfoot. I think it's interesting. I'm not going to say whether I believe it or not, because I'm not going to open that can of worms for anybody. I just think it would be cool to talk to him about what he thinks he saw or did see or didn't see, and what his reaction was, what his thoughts were. Nothing about the presidency. I don't care about that. But that's just me. Okay. Next is Wes Craven. I would really like to talk to him about his movies. Sit down and ask him about each individual movie and why, and what was his thought process, and so forth. Next is Elvis Presley, just because he was Elvis Presley. There's really nothing else to say. He was a very charismatic person. He was a musical, I want to say genius, but I don't know if that's the right word. His thoughts on some of the songs he would sing. Sorry. His thoughts on some of the songs he would sing. His time at Graceland. you know, what was going on in his life, about the love for his daughter, etc. Next is Patrick Swayze. He was from Texas. Um, he came to the hospital to see me once. He was doing a movie in San Antonio, and I was in the hospital. But it was the day of my surgery, but it was after my surgery, so I was asleep. So he came in and left me a little note and took a picture, which I have no idea what the picture is anymore, of him standing by my bed, and I'm sleeping. I know that's weird. But I had proof that he was there. He just, I love 90% of his movies, probably 99% of his movies. He was just gone way too soon. Next is Princess Diana. She seemed like a really down-to-earth person. Not at all like you hear the royals being. She seemed very approachable. I would love to sit and just listen to her talk about her kids and her life, and how happy she was there at the end. I guess that's it. Okay, 3 more. And these are probably my top 3. David von Erich. He died in Japan, I don't remember. I want to say 84, but I'm not sure that's right. Oh, sorry, my nose itches. He was just an awesome wrestler. He was most people say the best of the Von Erich boys. He just would love to hear stories about road trips, behind the scenes, his family life, so forth. Next would be Cary Grant. I love Cary Grant. I love all of his movies, even though some of them are kind of not as funny as he does a lot of he did a lot of comedy. He did a lot of he did North by Northwest, which was not a comedy. He did Gunga Din, which was not a comedy. But he did funny stuff like Arsenic and Old Lace, Philadelphia Story. There's another one, and I can't remember the name of it. An Affair to Remember, which is also not a comedy. Houseboat. Father Goose. I mean, I could go on and on and on. He made lots and lots and lots of movies. And my number 1, I was so in love with him when I was younger. I didn't know the real goings on in his life. I didn't know of his problems, addictions, etc. I just knew that he was my childhood hero. And that's Cary von Erich, which was David's brother. He was in the WWE for, I think, 2 years. Again, I would just love to hear stories. Interview him why he did what he did, which I know it was the addiction. Ask him how proud he is of his family, his nephews that are still wrestling, his daughter who did wrestle. And I have one honorable mention that I just now thought of that I should have put on my list and I didn't, and that would be Christopher Reeve. Just to sit down and listen to him about his life before the accident, after the accident, and just listen. Not really ask I would ask questions off the top of my head, but just to listen to him would be awesome. To listen to any of these people would be awesome. So that's my top 10 list of people I would interview who have passed away. It was a hard list for me. I didn't think it would be that hard, but it was. So that was a great list, Skyla. I look forward to seeing yours and James's list. Thanks. Bye. Mwah.